This is problem 3 from the additional practice problems for quiz 9. The problem says SPSS reports the following about two independent samples t-test, and it's a two-tail. So the t is negative 3.03, the df is 30, and the sig is 0.005. Part A asks how many total people participated in this study. For total people, we definitely want to look at our df, which is 30. And using that, that really is talking about df total. And so df total, let's think about it in terms of my n1 plus n2 minus 2 equation. What we're really interested in knowing is the total number of participants, right? So we really want to know what n1 and n2 are together. We don't really care what n1 is individually, and we don't really care what n2 is individually. We just want to know what they are together. So together, we can just figure out what these two are by adding 2 over here. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to solve that way. My df total is told to me that it's 30. Again, I don't know n1 plus n2, but I know that I would subtract 2 to it to get the df total. So now what I'm going to do is add 2, and this gives me a total of 32 participants is what would go here. So this study had a total of 32 participants. Part B asks, is the t significant at an alpha level of 0.01? So it's asking if this t negative 3.03 would land in the critical region. The easiest thing to do here is to look at the sig. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a graph, or rather a table. Excuse me. We're going to have my sig on this side, which is technically my p, my probability, and my alpha on this side. Okay, so if we look at the SPSS information, our sig was 0.005. So I'm going to write that here, 0.005. And the alpha level that the question is asking us to compare it to is 0.01. So I'm going to write 0.01 here. And all I do is see if my sig, 0.005, is less than or greater than 0.01. In this case, 0.005 is less than 0.01, therefore P would be less than 0.01, and this is significant. Part C asks, at an alpha level of 0.01, does this show that sample 1 has a significantly lower mean than sample 2? So here we found out in part B that yes, this was significant. So the significant part is true, but does this mean that sample 1 is lower than sample 2? So how would we figure this out? What I'm going to recommend is that we start off with a purple T graph. Sorry, it's so thick here. And what I'm going to do is, I don't know necessarily what alpha's T is, but I know that these have critical regions. I am now going to locate sample 2 because I said sample 2 will always be in the middle. Okay, and so now for the question says, does sample 1 have a significantly lower mean than sample 2? In order for that to be true, sample 1 has to fall over here on this region. Not over here, because if it's over here, it's higher than sample 2. It has a higher mean than sample 2. Whereas if it's down here, it has a lower mean than sample 2. Okay? Now, the way we figure this out is by looking at the t value. This technically, this right here, is M1's t. Right? M1's, we've automatically said that M2's t is always 0. Because we placed it right here. And so it's always going to be there. Therefore, what SPSS calculates for us in this type of test, this is always M1's t. In order for this to be lower, like the problem is asking, significantly lower, it needs to land here. The t is negative. That automatically tells me that my M1's t would be somewhere here. And so that's where my sample 1 is. And so yes, sample 1 is lower than the sample 2.